almost feel like it could be people messing with me.
Go, get!
Adam runs a channel built around the things he genuinely cares about: bushcraft, firearms, reviews, and even the occasional song. But the content that keeps people coming back is his wilderness footage, where he builds shelters and spends nights out in the wild with nothing but what he's carrying. In this particular video, a routine trek through the forest took a turn he wasn't expecting.
Today, we're going to explore some part of the wilderness that I've never explored before. If you guys have watched my channel for any length of time, you know I like, exploring the woods. But last summer, a logging company came in, and they must have got a pretty large wood permit, because they cut about a 15-mile logging trail to do the logging in a part of the woods I've never explored, or I doubt many people have explored, because it's just so inaccessible. So today, we're gonna go out there to that logging trail, and I got the all-wheel drive vehicle. We're gonna go as far down the trail as we can, and then we're gonna go explore the woods.
He reached the forest, parked up, and headed out on foot into the trees.
Beautiful country here. So we're gonna keep hiking. Got the map, and we're gonna get the high elevation, because there's a lot of swampy areas here. So we're gonna try to hit high elevation and hike through this as high as we can. So let's get busy. Been going for about an hour now, and getting a little tired, so I think I might take a break, eat a snack, and then head back.
He found a spot near a fallen tree, got a small fire going, and pulled out his map to get his bearings. What he didn't know was that something in the forest had already noticed him and was quietly closing the distance. That's when things shifted fast.
Right now I am over here somewhere. I'm off the map, so I'm gonna have to get back into my this is really hard to see in the camera, guys, but I'm gonna have to get back into my topo map area so I can again use terrain association, get some of these higher spots to come back to where I'm going. I do have a compass, so if worse comes to worse, I'll just head in the direction of that logging road, and we'll take that road. Sorry, battery died there. So I do have another okay, I'm gonna get moving here. All right, so I'm gonna get moving, guys. I'll check in with in a little bit, okay? Mother. Hey, Jesus. Go, get it! So, I'm pretty sure know where I'm at. I got good sun here, so I'm not going back the way I came. I'm going south, and I'll hit the logging trail, and I'm just gonna fucking walk the logging trail to wherever I parked, which should be when I'm on the trail. It should be east of where I'm at right now. I'm not even gonna try to go back the way I came, guys. I've never had that happen before. I mean, I saw him, and then he was gone, and I was good to go, and I was kind of backtracking a little bit, but staying quite a distance from the way I came in. And then I had a little fire, and then I heard some shit, so kind of packed up there, and then I thought it was just the wind, so I was just taking my time, and then turn around, and he's there. So we a couple warning shots on that mother. And that did it. I mean, you shouldn't do warning shots on a bear, because they get desensitized to it, so you're not supposed to do that. But I've never been stalked or followed before on any hike. I mean, first.
The bear turned and ran, the best outcome he could have hoped for. The encounter was caught on camera, at least briefly, and from what Adam described, the animal had been coming in with clear intent. He fired warning shots, which carries real risk. That kind of response can sometimes push a bear further rather than stop it, but in this case it worked, and the animal cleared out. It's a compelling argument for carrying protection in bear country. You have no way of knowing what state an animal is in when you cross paths with it, and having the means to defend yourself can genuinely determine how the situation ends. He picked up a minor arm injury during the encounter, but nothing that required serious attention, which, considering how close it got, is the best he could have asked for. He left the area immediately after. There's another lesson buried in this one too. Stay aware of what's happening around you. The sounds of the forest deserve your attention. Every now and then, something in those sounds is trying to tell you something important. Catching it early is what keeps a tense moment from becoming a tragedy. This video tonight comes from Nat Moran, a van life and adventure creator who documents full-time nomadic living, off-grid challenges, and real-world experiences in some genuinely remote places. It is November 4th, 2023, at Glacier National Park, East Glacier, Montana. Nat pulls into a KOA campsite in East Glacier and starts getting set up for the night. The area feels calm, open views, autumn colors, quiet all around. She rigs up shelter using tarps before switching over to a gazelle tent, working through the setup while there's still daylight left to do it by.
So I found out that the other night when I thought I heard some rustling in the bushes, turns out that a customer reported there's a bear right outside of camp. So yeah, that's fun, especially since it's pitch black outside. That's one disadvantage to this setup. But I did order a gazelle tent, so that should be here in next week.
The bear doesn't move on. It works its way around the fire pit and the surrounding ground, nose down, following scent. What stands out isn't the fact that it showed up, it's how long it stays. This isn't a brief pass through the site. It lingers. Nat remains inside, watching, keeping still, not doing anything that might pull its attention toward her, controlled and quiet.
I knew that there was a grizzly because, there's been 3 sightings yesterday. There's fresh bear scat right by my camp. And then there was a sighting down the ways, maybe, on the other side of this campground. And then on the nature trail in the campground.
Then the wind picks up, and it starts causing its own problems. The tent collapses, more than once, forcing Nat to keep breaking away to sort it out. Every time the structure goes down, the shelter becomes less reliable, and exposure increases. Not just to the weather, but to everything around her. Keeping the setup together stops being routine, and starts being part of staying safe.
But yesterday we had a rough day. It was just crazy with the wind. It was so cold and it was so windy. This tent collapsed, so it has these little pop-out things. That thing collapsed on me 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night. Freaked me out because I was like, is it a bear? Because the night before, a bear came into my camp. Anyway, so that was annoying. And I don't know. I've broke 2 of the pieces on the rainfly that connect to the tent, so I've had to jimmy rig that. So that's a bit annoying. It should not have broken. And I also received it filthy.
Nat adjusts. She repositions the tent and moves it closer to the vehicle, using it as a windbreak to cut down the exposure and bring some stability back to the setup. The response is measured, working with the conditions rather than giving up on the site entirely. What makes this experience stand out is how the 2 problems stack on top of each other. A bear in the area is manageable. A tent collapsing in strong wind is manageable. Both happening at the same time, in the same place, is a different kind of pressure. The bear never comes directly to the tent, but its presence keeps the situation live throughout. Nat's ability to stay calm, keep adapting, and avoid doing anything to escalate either problem is what holds everything together. And that's really the point. Remote camping can feel easy right up until the moment the environment decides to test you. And out there, that shift can happen faster than you expect. Before we move on, if you're enjoying the video, a like goes a long way. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a good time. We recently crossed 5,000 subscribers, and that's entirely down to you watching and sharing. The next goal is 10,000 before the end of the year. It's ambitious, but it's worth going for. The next video comes from Kaden Ventures, a solo outdoor channel built around camping, hiking, and unfiltered wilderness experiences. It is February 16th, 2026 at Lake Mead, Nevada. Kaden sets up camp on a cliffside with his dog Rio. The area is open and still, with no other activity nearby. Early in the footage, a couple of small technical issues surface. A headlamp flickers, and a camera shuts off without being touched. On their own, neither of those things means much, but they're noted, and they set the tone for what follows.
Yeah, it just shut off all of a sudden, so now I'm a little bit, I think I'm freaking myself out. It doesn't help that I'm like on the side of a cliff, you know, so who knows? Who knows what's out in the great beyond over here, especially when we just started hearing some coyotes. Spooky.
As night comes in, the isolation becomes harder to ignore. Sound carries differently out here. Wind, ambient noise, distant wildlife all cut through clearly across the open terrain. With no outside light sources and nothing moving in the distance, you're working with very little. The equipment issues from earlier haven't been explained, and they sit quietly in the background.
I did get a little bit spooked last night, though. Weird electrical things were happening. So the first thing was, you know, my light started flickering. Full charge, I had just charged it before we left, and then all of a sudden this camera straight up just died. I had just put a new battery in there, and it just died right after my headlamp started flickering. So, got kind of... It's probably just freaking myself out. But then, later on in the night, Rio's light-up collar, which is a pretty hard click to change the settings, all of a sudden Rio's light-up collar started blinking, which is a secondary setting if you click on the button. So, let me just show you guys. So, Rio's light-up collar, there's this really... Like, you can hear that? Like, that's how you change the settings on this thing. And all of a sudden, Rio's light-up collar, I didn't hear any type of click, but all of a sudden, it was on a different setting, and it was, like, blinking. So, that also freaked me out. And,
Then Rio's collar changes settings on its own. The device switches modes without anyone touching it. Electronics can glitch, pressure on a button, an internal fault, any number of things. But the timing sits alongside everything else that's already happened, and that's what makes it difficult to set aside. Nothing confirmed, just consistent.
is the site haunted? Is this land haunted? Anybody out here? Anything you want to say? Anybody here? Is it too early for you? Are the ghosts sleeping in? Anybody here? Oh, what? Is this campsite? Oh, that's weird. So these trees are probably one of the oldest trees out here in Nevada, I think. I can't remember what they're called, but there's definitely an energy coming off of this tree. Okay. Do you want to talk to us? No? Is this campsite haunted? Are there ghosts that walk this campground? Interesting. Is Lake Mead haunted? Okay. We don't have any electrical lines anywhere near us. We saw it earlier kind of freaking out, and then now it's gone. So, I don't know what that's supposed to say, other than something was here and then maybe it left. Yeah, nothing now.
The following morning, Kaden checks the surrounding area. Near a cluster of older trees, an EMF reader briefly spikes. Without a proper controlled baseline, those readings don't prove anything on their own, but they add another data point to a pattern that's been building since the night before. No visual source is found. Nothing explains the spike. What makes this encounter difficult to dismiss isn't any single moment. No one thing here is conclusive, but across one night and one location, multiple devices behaved irregularly. A headlamp, a camera, a dog collar, and an EMF reader, each within the same window of time. Every one of them has a possible explanation. The problem is they all happen together, and out in an environment this isolated, with no clear external interference to point to, that pattern is exactly what keeps the whole thing unresolved. Meet Bear, the creator behind the channel Exploring with Bear. He's known for heading out into the wilderness alone and documenting both the beauty and the strangeness of what he finds out there. His trips tend to carry a sense of quiet calm. But on this particular night, things went in a direction he never could have prepared for. On February 7th, 2024, Bear set out on a solo camping trip deep in the woods. Just him, his gear, and the silence of the forest. He was expecting a calm night. What he got was something else entirely.
So, this is what we're going to be working with tonight. That's it. Bare bones, baby. Bare bones. I do have that reflector under there. So in part one, we got our campsite all together. We got our fire going. We got our tent pitched. It is becoming much cooler now. Now, right now, it's currently about 40 degrees out. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it's going to be like 26, 27 or something like that. Much better than the 9 degrees it was the last time we was camping with a real feel of -10. That was freezing.
He got the camp set up, the fire going, and eventually made his way into the tent, ready to wind down and enjoy the quiet. For a while, it held. Everything felt still, almost peaceful. Then it didn't. One by one, things started breaking through the silence.
All right, so I'm thinking maybe, now that we got these fired up, we check out the offering tree, maybe the lake. So, stopped.
A sound cut through the night, sharp, out of place. Bear tried to reason with it. A branch coming down, maybe an animal moving through. He stepped outside to check, but standing out there in the dark, the feeling of being watched pressed in on him, and whatever was out there didn't feel far away.
There we go. That's more better. That's more better. Something seemed off. What the heck was that? That sucker came flying in. That just fall from up there? That's what I was telling you guys about the widowmakers when you're pitching your tent. Like that was, I don't know what that was, but Imagine if that was a monster limb now.
Then a branch snapped, sudden and hard, like it had been thrown rather than fallen. He let it go, kept walking, and made his way back to camp. But the night had already changed. It didn't feel the same as it had an hour before.
Alright guys, so it's a little later now. Almost fell asleep actually. I was watching a video and caught myself falling asleep. So I did end up breaking out the old camping blanket because it is much colder out. So I did end up putting one of the hand warmers in my pocket, and I have one tucked right up in here. Oh, you can see it. Yeah, right there. So alright guys, I think I'm going to try to get a little bit of sleep. And if I wake back up, I'll check back in. If I don't wake back up, I'll see you in the morning.
Exhaustion eventually won out, and he fell asleep, hoping the rest of the night would stay quiet. It didn't.
I just heard I don't know if I was even all the way asleep or what, but there was a huge crash outside. Do you hear that? I'm turning my light down. There's more than one. More than one. Crap, wrong way. Something is standing right outside of the tent. It walked right up to the tent. Do you hear it? There it is again. What the heck is that? Oh. It's throwing stuff at the tent. I'm armed. No. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. Man, whatever that is, I don't know what. I almost feel like it could be people messing with me. I just heard it breathing. Oh!
Something dragged him out of sleep, a presence circling the tent, close, deliberate. Objects hit the fabric from outside, thrown with clear intention. His heart was going fast, and a cold feeling moved through him. He killed the flashlight, hoping that would make it stop. It didn't stop. The sounds got louder, a rhythm to them that made it unmistakably clear he was not alone out there.
I can hear it. I think it's leaving. So it's been about 5 minutes and I haven't heard anything. But my heart's still about to beat out of my chest, and I'm gonna take this opportunity and leave right now before whatever that was. Sounded like there was 2 of them. There's people, creatures, whatever that was. I am leaving before they come back. I do not feel safe. I'm sorry guys, I'm not. Yeah, right now I hear nothing. I'm getting out of here.
When the sounds finally went quiet and stayed that way, he took his chance and got out, leaving the gear where it was. The next 7 days were spent in a state of dread, waiting. When he finally went back to the campsite, what he found made everything worse.
Someone destroyed the frickin' tent. I wonder if they thought I was laying in there when they threw that block on it. Man, that would have messed me up.
The camp had been destroyed. A cinder block had been thrown directly into the tent, not the act of someone trying to frighten him, but of someone who wanted to cause real harm. bear got out of that night without being hurt, but whoever he had encountered out there in those woods was not operating with any kind of rational intent, and that much was obvious. For our next case, we're looking at Austin Armstrong, a YouTube creator who built his channel around putting himself in unfamiliar places and uncomfortable situations. His videos follow him stepping deliberately outside what feels safe, exploring new environments, and taking on experiences most people would rather watch than attempt. But on one particular camping trip, he ran into something he hadn't prepared for, a fear he never saw coming.
And today, I just decided to go camping. Now, as you can kind of sort of maybe see, it's kind of raining, but that's okay. I just went out in the middle of nowhere at this campground at Poka Lake in Indiana. I'm the only one out here. Obviously, it's kind of cold and it's projected to get colder and it's raining. But I like a challenge whenever I camp, and I've camped in much worse weather conditions than this. So I figured, yeah, why not? So here's my little site right there. So I'm gonna make the most of what I have here and see what I can do with it.
Decided to take a solo camping trip out to Poka Lake, Indiana. The weather was cold and wet going in, but he wasn't deterred. If anything, the rough conditions were part of the point.
Even with the rain, here's my tent. I need to figure out how to set a fire in the wetness of what I have here. I moved this table. I'm probably gonna move it over there closer to the tent. So the tent over here is under under some trees. That'll protect it for the rain and stuff. I'm thinking maybe I can move the fire pit over here as well. That's underneath some of these trees. Maybe that'll make it a little bit easier. But as you can see, like, there's nobody here, which is good. That's what I was looking for, just kind of getting away from everything. Well, I guess I can do a demonstration of how to start a fire when everything is wet, because I'm having some problems here.
When he arrived, the campground was completely empty. At first, that felt like a good thing, quiet, peaceful, all to himself. He pitched his tent under a tree to get some cover from the rain, and then spent well over an hour fighting to get a fire going.
I think I did it. So I took some branches and stuff, and so if you don't know, here's a little like tip, okay? So whenever you're camping and you're trying to make a fire, make a teepee. You see how it's like in a triangle shape? See how that? I mean, there's a reason in all the kids' TV shows that like it's a teepee, you know, like the campfire is shaped like, you know, like a pyramid or something. That's how you want to do it.
He got there eventually, a small but steady fire. As the darkness came in fully, he realized the fire wouldn't last the night without more wood, and that meant heading back out to find some.
It's been about 2 hours now since it stopped raining. I still need to find more wood, so I have my headlamp. I just need to find some bits and pieces just to keep it going. We're going pretty strong, but it's getting pretty thin, if you can tell, like down in the bottom of it. You can't really see anything out here, so yeah, I have this flashlight. It's got a good beam on it. So I found a stack of firewood out this way. Okay, you can kind of see that light right there. So that's an outhouse. So if I follow this light, where my light's going here, there's a former campfire that was over here, and somebody left a decent stack of firewood.
He grabbed a flashlight and walked out into the pitch black. At a nearby empty campsite, he found a stack of wood someone had left behind. He was about to grab it when a loud boom tore through the silence and rolled through the trees.
So it was mostly wet. What the? I don't know if you guys just heard that, but like something literally just went boom over there. Holy crap.
The fear hit him instantly. He swept the darkness with his flashlight in every direction. Nothing there.
I'm trying to find a rational explanation too. Like, maybe it was the wood. But it doesn't look any different than when I left. And I don't think that this would make that kind of sound. What was that? I hope that showed up like on the, camera. Let's see that. Okay, this is better. Come on, surely there's not something out here right now. I would be upset. I would be so upset if there's something out here right now. But that was a very large boom and snap. It sounded like there was something like climbing through something. So it could have been an animal. But I'm praying to God that it was something collapsing in the fire. But it was very, very loud.
He tried to work through it, told himself it was probably a log shifting and collapsing in the fire, but he knew that didn't hold up. Whatever that sound was, it was too loud and too sharp for something that simple.
So, update. I found out what that crash was earlier. What it was, so I put the sign had fallen down in the middle of the road that said like, safe area, no dogs, no weapons. And so I set it up against one of the tables, like one of the camping tables. So I set it up against that because it was in the middle of the road. And I look over whenever I went out to go to the bathroom or something, and it was laying on the ground. So I was like, wait a minute, that makes sense. It was just a sign the entire time.
For a while, he managed to settle on an explanation. A large sign he had propped up earlier had toppled over. That answer brought some relief, but it didn't last. As the rain picked back up and the night stretched on, the unease came creeping back in regardless.
Alright, so here's the update. It's almost 1 a.m. and I bagged out of the tent because it's pouring and I got paranoid as hell. I'm not gonna lie. It's freaky out here by yourself. I'm not gonna lie, it's true. But that's okay. I'm warming up this the vehicle here, kind of charging my phone just in case I need to contact anything. I just figured I would be safer and warmer and better off in this van than in a tent. I don't know, it seems like common sense to me. But I'm still out here, still going strong. I'm trying my hardest to keep going.
By 1 a.m., he was done. His own words, paranoid as hell. He left the tent where it was, walked to his van, and locked himself inside. He made it through the rest of the night without incident, but the question that came out of it hasn't gone away. Was that boom really just a sign falling over? Or was that simply the explanation his mind latched onto because it needed one? Whatever actually made that sound out there in the dark, the fact that he never got a real answer is the part that stays with you. When you are genuinely alone out there, you are also genuinely exposed. And sometimes the most unsettling thing isn't what you find. It's something you can't explain. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the other stories on screen for more disturbing encounters caught on camera. Stay safe out there, and remember, the next time you step off the trail, you might not be as alone as you think.